Let's be real. You've heard it all before. A random rando comes along shouting free book to anyone who listens. But this isn't just any free book. For the next 30 days, my 16,000-word hard sci-fi slow burn cosmic horror novelette, Pulse, will be exclusively available for free on Apple Books. After that month is up, it's $4.99. So, yeah, you're smart. You're gonna get it. Still not convinced? Wondering what kind of dark depths you're about to plunge into? Well, Pulse is the story of Dr. Ray Godfrey, a man of logic and science, sent to decode an impossible signal at the edge of known space. But what he finds isn't just a phenomenon, it's an awareness. Something that listens and something that changes him. In this video, I'll take you through the chilling world of Pulse, from its meticulous scientific detail, which every beta tester has pointed out, nudge nudge wink wink, to the creeping madness that grips its protagonist. When I started writing Pulse, I knew I wanted to build something that felt incredibly grounded in reality. Hard sci-fi stuff. Every piece of the Erebus One, every scientific concept Ray grapples with, I tried my best to make it feel plausible and tactile. The idea was to build a believable future, a very detailed and functional world. And whoa, what's that weird-ass thing up there? Why? Because I believe the more real the setup, the more profoundly unsettling it becomes when the reality starts to twist and break. When Ray's scientific instruments can't explain what's happening, when the laws he trusts begin to betray him, that's when I, personally, get the shivers. And speaking of shivers, this is a slow burn cosmic horror. You won't find a monster jumping out from behind a corner every few pages. Instead, the dread impulse is meant to creep. It starts with a subtle hum, an inexplicable anomaly, something that a brilliant scientist like Ray is convinced he can make yield at first. But as he plunges deeper into the void of deep space, and as the pulse reveals its true, impossible nature, that feeling of unease just keeps building. I wanted to write what personally frightens me most about space. That eerie as, dark void beyond the safe bubble we all live in on Earth. As well as beyond the science and the scares, I was really keen on exploring the personal toll of obsession and isolation. Ray is driven, almost consumed, by his need to understand. But what happens when that relentless pursuit pushes him to the very edge, isolating him from everything he knows and loves? You'll see his meticulous mind start to fray, his reality blur, and his desperate longing for the life he left behind on a strained, war-torn Earth. Those quiet moments with Thomason, the glimpse into their life in New London, they're all there to make Ray's ultimate journey, I hope it feels at least, quite tragic. At around 16,000 words, Pulse is a compact read. But I truly poured everything into every sentence. My aim was to deliver a potent, immersive experience that lingers long after you finished it. It's a story about the terrifying incomprehensibility of the unknown, the limits of human understanding, and that chilling, inescapable truth that sometimes all things do yield. Now, about the book being a slow burn. I know it's not for everyone, but for Pulse, it was absolutely essential. This story isn't designed for instant gratification. The horror isn't just about a sudden fright. It's about the weight of the unknown pressing down on you, slowly and relentlessly. I think we live in a society where a lot of horror tries to deliver instant, cheap scares, constantly chasing the next big audience jumper. And I just wasn't interested in that for Pulse. Think about how true dread builds. In its quiet anticipation, the creeping doubt, and the gradual realization that something is fundamentally wrong, rather than just a quick shock. By letting the story unfold slowly, by focusing on Ray's internal struggle and the subtle, maddening changes around him, I aimed to immerse you fully into his psychological journey. It's about letting the unsettling atmosphere seep into your bones, allowing the questions to fester, and building that tension until the payoffs. If you're someone who appreciates that kind of deliberate psychological terror, the kind that lingers and truly gets under your skin, then sticking with the build-up will, I promise, make the payoff that much more impactful and unforgettable. Now, frankly, Pulse is quite a dark story. I wanted to delve into isolation, existential dread, the breaking of a brilliant mind, and a world teetering on the edge of collapse. But within that darkness, I also wanted to ensure that there were grounding elements, and that's where the side characters come in. They aren't just props, at least I hope not. I wanted them to bring a human touch, a connection to the world beyond Ray's singular obsession. Take Thomasin, for example. I include her story to add more depth, exploring themes of home and stubbornness as to provide another layer for readers to connect with. Ford, for example, represents the bureaucratic pressures and military-industrial complex that sets Ray's journey in motion. Then there's Beatrice. She's a personal favorite of mine, and it turns out she was a hit with my beta readers too. Folks on Reddit and especially Wattpad really loved her, which just warms my heart. She's here to bring this incredible energy, a sharp wit, and a fresh contrast to Ray's intense, often brooding nature. She's the spark that cuts through the bleakness, and her genuine excitement for science and life really help elevate the narrative, in my opinion, providing those brief, much-needed moments for light before the void closes in. Her presence, even if brief, make the stakes feel higher, reminding us what Ray and the world stands to lose. Basically, Beatrice is the only place where a sense of humor or joy could be found. And so that makes me think I went a little too dark with the ending. Okay, so I have to talk about the ending. Without giving anything away, I could tell you that I've always wanted to write a book that embraced the darker side of storytelling. One that doesn't shy away from a painful, even crushing conclusion. Because for me, the idea that happy endings are always realistic feels like, well, a bit of a lie. Life, and certainly the vast, indifferent universe, doesn't always tie up things neatly with a bow. Sometimes, the most powerful stories are those that leave you with a lingering sense of unease, or even a deep ache. And let me tell you, it kinda hurt to write this ending. It truly did. Getting into the heads of these characters, especially Ray, Thomasin, and even those brief glimpses of Monroe, and then guiding them through such an intense, horrifying journey, it felt at times like I was torturing them. But I believed, and still believe, that for this story, for the specific kind of dread and existential questions Pulse poses, that kind of honesty was necessary. It's a bold choice, I know, but it's one that I hope resonates deeply and leaves a lasting impact on you, the reader. And now, with the ending reached, I realized how huge of a moment this was for me. For 6 long years, I've been quietly crafting stories, whether that be with my sister or by myself, and then finally transitioning into writing real stories. Every one of which, aside from older projects, I ultimately gave up on. And now with Pulse, it has finally come to fruition. This isn't just a passion project. It's my first official book. Not just a short story, but something substantial, and what I genuinely believe is a good one. Pulse is my 16,000-word love letter to the darker, more unsettling side of science fiction and cosmic horror. To finally be able to not only write a story that means so much to me, but also officially publish a book, it's a privilege, and honestly, a dream come true. Now, finally, it is done. Finished. Finned, if you will. And I really hope that you'll pick it up. and give it a chance. This is my first, probably of many more books I will make. And so, without further ado, I advise you to head over to the Apple Bookstore, look for Pulse by Erlen Moran, and pick it up while it's still free. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video. Take care.